Hey everybody, and by everybody I mean nobody. What's going on? I don't know. I just decided I had nothing going on today. Usually I'm a busy person on Fridays. I don't. I took a nap and I woke up with this weird thought that cuz lately everyone's talking in the Dabbleverse, Hackverse, not everyone. The world does. That's the fun. When you get involved in these little niche things like these small little worlds, sometimes you get so. That's why I try to get away from things. That's why I left Twitter. I left Twitter because Twitter puts you into small little groups where everyone hates everyone and thinks everything they're talking about is the world. Then you're like, oh wait, no one cares about this. And Stuttering John Melendez, for those who don't know, from used to be from Howard Stern or Jay Leno, but now from failure and ridicule and shame. That's what he's known for now. Is this huge thing in this little world? And about a couple months ago, he had come back to the internet after being picked on. It's almost like if a kid getting picked on and bullied left his school, which you're like, good, he should leave the school. He should start anew. He should go somewhere. But then he just 4 months later just came back to the same school, but didn't change. Not like those 80s movies where he was now had a cool leather jacket and sunglasses and he got bitches. Like, no, all that is not there now. Now he's just the same guy the whole time. And wondering why it's not received as, differently. Like, why don't you think I'm cool now? Even though for a minute they did, for those who don't know. He came back and people started paying this man money to be on their show to pick on them, which is it was almost like I don't really know what's the term, what's the S&M hooker or whatever, like the ones that you hired so they'll hit you, like they paid so they could like hit this man. I guess I don't. It's very strange what's going on, but anyway, what I get out of that is saying that in the last week or so I've been getting a bunch of comments because I was a guest on a podcast. Who are these podcasts? Go check out their podcast if you haven't. Successful, hilarious podcast with Carl and his producer Chris. They do a great job of making fun of podcasts, but their big thing is that they pick on Stuttering John. They're the main bully of all the people that were doing that. And I'm not saying that in a bad way towards Carl. He was smart. It drew attention, and people liked it when we were making fun of this mess of a man who in some circles, people are like, well, he was successful in reality, he was always being picked on. His whole thing was, I'm a stutterer. I have an issue. I can't talk right. So then Howard Stern hired him and said, oh, you don't talk good? Like, if he talked well, and if he wasn't an idiot, he would have never gotten an Howard Stern. Maybe he did contribute to some things. But in reality, he's been getting picked on his entire life. Even when Jay Leno grabbed him, Jay Leno's like, oh, if the world is watching Howard Stern pick on this guy, wait till I pick on this guy. I pick on him with my chin or whatever. I don't do impressions. But anyway, so the whole time, this guy is only getting there. He's a one stutter pony. It's all he is. And I'm not here to now jump on that train. I'm not doing that. I've been on Who Are These Podcasts. I've made fun of him a couple times. It was fun in the moment, but I'm not now going to become a guy picking on him, mostly because he's gone, but also because, I don't know, that's just not really who I am. Do I pick on people? Of course. It's just to stay in one lane, my ADHD wouldn't allow it. But I get through all that in my scatterbrain to explain to you that this guy is on the top of my mind because when I was on Who Are These Podcasts, a lot of comments and people were talking about him. And then right after I was on Who Are These Podcasts making fun of John quit the internet again. So I kind of like made fun of him right before he could find out that I exist and then start yelling at me, which probably could have been fun or whatever. But regardless, it started to make me think. And then I took a nap, like I said, and I woke up from the nap. And the dream I had is that Stuttering John was Bigfoot. Yes, I guess I would say, mythological creature, but I think a lot of people believe he's real, especially the people in Colorado. If you've seen that video, because that video is also in my head, because I've watched a couple of the videos of people watching Bigfoot poop in Colorado. Now, if you haven't seen that, you can Google the words I just said. Bigfoot pooping in Colorado. Train going by, people are like, well, how you couldn't make this up? Time it with the train. I'm like, yeah, if you can deep fake your mom's face on someone else's body getting banged by dudes, you can make Bigfoot pooping in Colorado on a train. I'm pretty sure the sky's the limit. The limit's the sky when it comes to the internet and all that stuff. So I'm not saying Bigfoot's real, But there are people that believe Bigfoot are real. And it made me think when I woke up, is Stuttering John real? And I know you're going to be like, Pat, he's obviously a real person. Yes, John Melendez is a real person. But this Stuttering John thing, this thing that has come back and people have made money off of, not only Carl, the Shuli Network has a lineup of shows based on this man's life stinking, which once again, I will never get mad at the dealer. I will always blame the person buying. You know what I mean? I can have all the crack, and you can be like, you shouldn't sell crack. Well, you're right. Maybe I shouldn't sell crack. But if people wouldn't buy crack, then I'm not doing anything wrong. So if they're dealing Stuttering John, it's the people that are buying Stuttering John. Like Kevin Brennan got involved. Then new weird things showed up in the world, like a Joey C and puppets and all these things came up and said, oh, if we grasp on this too, we can build a little bit here, get a little bit of audience, and then do our own thing. Not the Joey C guy. I don't think he's real either. I think he's more like a Fraggle Rock thing. But like the Tukis and the Cardiffs and all these things that jumped on to show people that, hey, we're funny and we can do things. And for people that don't know that little world, you're like, who am I talking about? Exactly. But these guys have all become mini rock stars in this tiny niche world. It really is crazy how the internet has all these things. Like, there's things that you like and you want. Like, I don't know anything about, that show where people are on a boat and they work on the boat, and then sometimes they bang on the boat, and then it's like something going under, whatever. I had an ex-girlfriend who used to watch that show, and she was like so into it, knew all the characters. Oh no, this season it's the chef who's banging the lady, whatever. And it's like, I don't know what you're talking about, but if that person wrote a book, people that love that show will be like, that's the greatest book. The world is so niche. We are so big and vast, but we have so much room for so small things. So the Stuttering Johniverse here is really become that. But so is Bigfoot. There are people in the world that go looking for him. And I think that the people that are in the Dabbleverse, the Hackverse, are really just looking for Bigfoot. They're trying to find a thing to give themselves something in life. That's all they're trying to do. And I don't know. I know there's morons in the world. I know there's idiots. I know there's mental illness. I know there's stupids. I know all these things. The dum-dums, all that stuff. I can't believe Stuttering John is that dumb. And maybe he is, or maybe he's a good vessel. Like, an actor, when you're like, you meet an actor, you're like, oh, I love your movies. And you talk to them, and you're like, oh, you're a dunce. Maybe Stuttering John is a perfect vessel for other people. Maybe like the same people who put out footage of a Bigfoot to get people who like Bigfoot to go, oh my God, there might be a Bigfoot. Because there's not a Bigfoot. There's not one hairy giant thing that's lived 1,000,000 years and walks around and now somehow got to Colorado, even though he was like in somewhere else. I don't know much about fucking Bigfoot. But there are people that get so into it that it would make sense to put out Bigfoot footage, alien footage, leaked sex tapes. People want to see things. I remember before the internet, when everyone wanted to see, at the very beginnings of the internet, when people wanted to see Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee bang on a boat, everyone was fired up. Someone put that out there because they knew people wanted to see that thing. And I guess Pam Anderson going down on Tommy Lee's a lot like Stuttering John speaking and spitting and throwing up and doing all the things he does. It's something that people are polarized with, certain people, and therefore you put it out. I have to, for me to believe in the world being not morons, that someone or a group of people are directing John to do this, to leave, to come back, to be stupid, to say these things, to be wild. And that way, if they make him leave now and everyone's like, oh, he's gone, and then he comes back at a certain time, then people can make money off him again. They're running its course. It's almost, Stuttering John has become like seasons of a television show. It's like where season 1 is over, and back in the day, you couldn't just go binge season 2. You'd have to wait a whole summer to find out who shot JR, who stuttered John. It's like you'd have to know. I can't wait to see. I'm sitting here, I'm clamoring. So you go off to other things, you do stuff. When it comes back, you're glued. You're into TV. You're like, I gotta see this. And I think that's what he's become. Like he is a show. He's the Truman Show. We've all become that in a way, but he really is the Truman Show. And then all the other and all the people that make, that's the problem too. Like, he's almost become not only a show, but he's also become like a so like if you have like an amusement park, a small amusement park in your dumb state, like you live in Idaho and you have like the potato carnival or some shit that is all the time. All the little businesses around it make money because people come to the stupid potato carnival. And if the potato carnival shuts down, the dumb little businesses around it scramble to figure out a way to get people to come to their business. And I think that's what's happening with all these other little shows that are happening, is that they don't know what to do now, and they're going to be scrambling, and they're going to try to find new morons, and new morons are going to try to step forward and say, I can be a said moron. And it's going to be fun to watch who takes over, who can handle that. You have to have the thickest of skin. Say what you want about Stuttering John and all these. You have to have the thickest of skins. And I know people say, he doesn't, he's sensitive. He still keeps going on this thing. And I know he's making money. He's doing it. It can't be worth it, whatever he's doing. It can't be worth the money. It's not a lot to go on. The super chats don't give you anything. You don't make money off that. I mean, you make some money. It's worth better than no money. But it's not, you're not building a house. Even though he has several, the houses, the mansions that Stuttering built. But am I wrong in this theory? Like, okay, first of all, I guess the thing would be, if people out there believe in Bigfoot, why? Why do you believe in Bigfoot? Do you if you think about it, if you really believe that Bigfoot is real, why do you think he's real? Does it make you feel better about yourself, or distract you from the life that you don't like? It takes you away from yourself to think about a mythical monster running around in the woods. So that when you see a video now of him pooping in Colorado, you're like, yeah, I'm happy he's back. I knew he was out there. I knew he was pooping. I'm happy he moved away from like the colder weather and he's out there in Colorado. He probably likes to get high. Maybe that's why he went there. And we also have to remember that Colorado gets higher than any other place. So like, seeing Bigfoot out your window is not, you can see why somebody saw it, is what I'm saying. But what do you get out of believing in it? It just gets you through your day. It's the same way as believing in religion or anything like that. If you believe, I wrote an article once on Medium about, actually entitled "Go Ahead, Look for Bigfoot," because to me, if it gets you through this shitty life to believe in Bigfoot, then who am I to tell you not to? If it gets you through your shitty life to believe in Stuttering John and believe in the people that make fun of him and believe that it's the funniest thing in the world, then who am I to tell you not to do it? But Bigfoot isn't real. You can't prove to me he's real. You can't prove to me that there's a God or a Buddha or like Ganesh with the arms and shit. Any of those, you can't prove to me it is. Doesn't mean that you can't believe it. You just can't put it on paper and prove it to me. And you can't prove to me that Stuttering John doesn't know that this is all fucking work. It's gotta be. It's gotta. I have to believe in humanity and believe that we can move on in life. I have to believe that this is all fake. I have to believe that Carl and Shuli and all of them have gotten together and maybe directed the Stooge. Maybe he's not in on it. Maybe he's not. Maybe he is Truman from the Truman Show, and maybe he doesn't know. And whenever he starts figuring it out and he's getting ready to go into the water and open the door, they have pulled the plug by strikes or threats or whatever to make sure he doesn't open that door and figure it out. And surrounded him with dumber people and other sidekicks that will, believers, like they've given him his own little Waco, his little cult people, the few that follow him and believe in him, which I don't think there's many, to do that. But I do. I really feel like And then I get mad at me because why is this invading my space? Why, when I'm taking a nap and I'm just trying to rest? I have a comedy show tonight. I've got things going on all weekend. I have a life. I have things I do. I'm not saying I'm the busiest of bees, but I do a lot of things. And one thing I don't do is this. But I find myself getting up in the mornings after doing radio or whatever, and then coming home and just popping on YouTube and watching one of these shows that's just talking about this goon. This non-talking goon who's like, and I'm like, I want to hear what they have to say about him. I want to know what other people think about him. I want to know, oh, did he say that? It's almost like reading the National Enquirer now. That's what the YouTube little group has become. And who's in the National Enquirer? Bigfoot. Stuttering John could be actually Bigfoot. I don't know if he's a tall man, but he's kind of hairy, kind of like oafs around. You're like, did I just see that? It seems blurry a lot of times when you see him on screen. I'm not sure what it is, but I think mostly what I did is just did this to make a thumbnail to see if anyone at 1 o'clock in the afternoon would see the thumbnail, see Stuttering John and watch. Now, like, I don't have a lot of followers and I'm not in that world, so no, it didn't draw a lot. But we'll see. Once it's done being live and just out there, if people check it out for a second, then get real mad that a man just rambled for a couple minutes with some stupid thought of a comparison between a thing no one cares about and Bigfoot. But I'm bummed. That's basically what all this really was. Just a killing of a couple minutes before I have to go take a jog and do something. And also because I just got a new laptop and I'm just making sure that everything is working properly, and I'm trying to I was trying to figure out how to share videos, and I'm too dumb to figure that out. But instead, I just figured I would just talk for a couple minutes, just drink coffee and ramble about Stuttering John. So if you're watching this anyway, and there we go. Yeah, Chairman Mao, how are you, sir? You are a believer and follower in the world of Stuttering John. Do you think it's all fake? I guess that's my only question I have. Is Stuttering John in on being an idiot, and do we keep pulling him away and bringing him back to have almost like different seasons of a TV show? Or is there somebody really this stupid in the world, and we're all just enjoying the beauty, I guess, of their stupidity? I can't believe it. I can't believe that that's a thing. But mostly I did this just to see if I would get 2 or 3 people to check it out and then click on a thumbnail later on. Because I see everyone always post his name and do whatever. That's what it is. But if you're here anyway, please subscribe to the channel because I'm almost ready to monetize. And then I can do real shows and actually do research and put things in and start putting stuff. I'll keep the regular POS show for a little bit, but I'm going to try to do other stuff very soon. Also, if you are a subscriber, I don't know how many are left, but the Compound Media, I will be there next week, Thursday, November 2nd, filling in for Anthony Cumia, so check out that. A buddy of mine, Brandon Smith, will be with me. We'll be talking about conspiracies and things of that nature, and just making fun of stuff like we always do, so check that out as well. Go check out the podcast that had me on this week, Who's Right? They're great. Go check them out, subscribe to them. I was on there, very fun appearance on there. Who Are These Podcasts? That was a good time to be on. I'm on the Po Boys podcast this Sunday, so I'm doing the weird circuit of places I can go on now that I'm okay streaming live. And if any of you want me to come on your show and say dumb things, just hit me up, patoatescomedy@gmail.com, and I'll come on your dumb shows. And then in the comments, if you're watching this later, let me know how you feel. Is Stuttering John real? Is he fake? Is Bigfoot real? Is Bigfoot fake? Who would you rather have in your house, Bigfoot or Stuttering John? Who would you trust more to not steal something out of the fridge? So with that being said, thank you guys for this quick, stupid thing.